You know, the fitness industry is really stuck. They're stuck in a paradigm of go harder, go faster, lift heavier, jump higher. And they want you to have this high intensity exercise all the time. Well, while I do believe that high intensity exercise is important, it is good to challenge your cardiovascular system. It is good to challenge your muscular system. But to do that all the time is actually out of balance. Your body can't be at high intensity all the time, especially because we live in a very stressful world. So our body is under stress from work, from relationships, from political stress, from world stress, whatever it is. And then if we add more stress onto it with high intensity exercise, we're actually harming our bodies by doing too much. We're staying in that sympathetic system, that fight or flight system, and that's very damaging to your body. We need to find some way to balance out our world, balance out our bodies, balance out our stress levels. And Tai Chi is one of those wonderful forms of exercise that can actually help you get out of fight or flight, get into your parasympathetic system, allow your body to rest. And of course, how does Tai Chi do that? Well, if you've known me for any length of time, you know that it comes from the underlying principles. It's not just because you're standing in a room and moving slowly. You're understanding and applying the underlying principles. And the way Tai Chi helps you with stress relief, allowing you to move, exercise, but not be tensing up. We talk about being open and rounded. We have delicate ladies' wrist. We know where our weight is, and we utilize empty and full. We move from our dantian, that center of your body. We understand that actually rotation, even though it's power in every sport, but it also allows your body to relax and move in a way that it's supposed to move. If you're understanding how to rotate on your central column, if you're thinking about your columns and you're aligned as naturally as possible, your body can actually relax. It's not a stiff, I've got to be straight. You're suspended from the crown of your head and your body is relaxed in a proper posture. We have 360 breathing, long, slow, deep breathing, and that is very much part of allowing your body to relax even while you're moving. And of course, unique to Tai Chi is the fact that you're moving in a continuous manner. It's not a start or stop. It's like gentle water flowing. And that is actually key to helping your body relax and get rid of the excess stress that is really part of your world that's stored in your body. So let's look at a few movements in the context of those underlying principles. So the first move I want to work on is wave hands like clouds. It's everybody's favorite move because it is gentle and flowing. So if you're starting on the weight on your right and you're just stepping left, pulling that ball of energy across your body, think about how many of these principles are happening at once as you do your wave hands like clouds. Now keep those arms going. I want you to just go to the right. Let your body relax. Pulling that ball of energy across your body. And now let's just stand and do wave hands like clouds without stepping. And if you look at even just the position of my arms, I'm opening up, I'm nice and rounded. It's not a stiff position, it's not a hard position, it's actually very loose, rounded, and open. That allows your body fluids to flow better. It allows your muscles to relax. Anytime you tense up, you're going to restrict that flow. Look at how rotation actually allows the arms to relax. I'm not moving my arms like this. It's the rotation that's gently pulling my arms across my body, and I'm rotating on that central column, keeping my shoulders in harmony with my hips. We don't want to do wave hands like clouds like this. That's not stress-free. You can only do this for a few minutes and then you're like, okay, I'm done. Whereas you can stand and do wave hands like clouds for a long time. The Dantian might not be as obvious, but you are leading from the Dantian and utilizing your empty and full, especially when you're stepping. When you bring your weight over to the right, your Dantian comes over this right base of support. So your center of mass is over that base of support. As you step and rotate and fill this left leg, now the Dantian comes over this base of support, allowing your right leg to become empty so that it can easily move. So now instead of start and stop kind of motion where I'm stepping and not really understanding my body, applying those principles now makes wave hands like clouds very easy and gentle, allowing my body to move continuously and yet relax. And now if you add your breathing, let's go to the right. Take a nice deep breath in. And then as your left comes across, breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. So just that one movement you can use to start to practice being open and rounded, moving from your Dantian, really focusing on that rotation, utilizing the breathing. Part the Wild Horse's Mane is also a movement that's very good to use. If you think about holding that ball to the right, stepping out left, look how that rotation just opens my body up. I'm not stepping out with straight arms like this, and I'm not just moving from my arms. Even if I have my arms rounded, if I'm stiff and just using my arms, that's not relaxing. Utilizing your rotation to allow your body to relax. Now think about how my arms are nice and rounded like this. It's not straight out. This is stiff. This is blocking the flow of energy. This is also very constricted. It's also very weak. You have to have that nice, optimal, just right, open and rounded, allowing your body to relax, and yet it will remain powerful. Let's do pushing chi. So bringing your left foot forward. Just let your arms float. Now we're not really doing a lot of rotation here, right? It feels like it's a total lateral or forward and back, linear movement. But the principles of being open and rounded remain. The idea of understanding your weight shift remains. Moving from your Dantian, keeping your shoulders in harmony with your hips. All of these things come into play with your pushing chi. If I turn here and violate those underlying principles of pushing chi, where I'm leading from my shoulders, my arms are not rounded, my columns are broken, that's not a relaxing movement. So just thinking about the movements of Tai Chi is not what allows your body to relax. It's applying those underlying principles. Let your Dantian lead this motion, which helps you keep your shoulders in harmony with your hips. Your columns are intact. Let the arms just float, but stay open and rounded. Now, this becomes a very relaxing movement as I shift my weight back and forward. And as I add my breath to that, let's bring the right foot forward now. Breathing in, coming towards my body. Breathing out as I push away. If you allow yourself to really breathe deeply, but just to where it's relaxed, and slow yourself down, you're going to start to feel a very nice, calm, relaxing movement that you could do for hours. That's really the point of we're not trying to muscle through with Tai Chi. We're not going harder, faster, higher, heavier. We want our body to relax and let everything flow and move away from the stress. Let the body release your stress. There's a movement that I'm going to teach you right now that if you know the long form, it's white snake spits out tongue. If you're not familiar with the long form, that's okay. I want to just teach it to you real briefly here because we're going to utilize it in our stress relief form. And you'll see why we utilize it. What you're going to do, stand about with your feet about shoulder width apart. And I want you to bring your left hand on top, right hand underneath in a very nice loose fist. Remember, it's an open fist where you could put a robin's egg and you're not going to squish it. Okay? Remember that open and rounded. We don't want it like this. Let our elbows drop. Stepping forward with that right leg. You're going to bring your right hand up and over and open it up. It was in a fist underneath, and now it comes up and it opens up. Then your left hand snakes across as your right hand comes to your right hip. Turn your left hand so it's horizontal now, or vertical, excuse me, and then let the right hand snake across. Let's do just the hand movement again. I'm going to turn just a little bit. You're starting with that right hand underneath. Step forward with the right. Open it up. Then that left hand comes across. The right hand comes to your hip. Turning that left hand so it's a vertical. Then let your right hand come across. Now that was just the arm movement. Remember we talked about the principle of substantial and insubstantial. That's knowing you're empty and full, but it's also part of that gentle flow of keeping continuous movement. So with your white snake spits out tongue, I want you to think about bringing your weight all the way over to the left as you start this movement. Now stepping forward with the right, bring the weight forward onto the right. Now as this left snakes across, bring your weight back to your left foot. Then as the right snakes across, bring your weight back to the right. You actually do have rotation going on in this as well. Bring the weight back to the left, stepping out, open it up, the weight comes to the right. Then as you come back, your weight comes to the left. And then as that right snakes across, you're actually rotating your body to bring it forward. If you get into this forward and back snaking movement, actually, what does this look like forward and back? It's really pushing chi. You're just doing something different with your hands. So where is the movement being led? What from where? It's from your dantian, keeping your columns intact so that you're not reaching and snaking with stiff arms. You have your shoulders in harmony with your hips, your arms are nice and rounded, and you have delicate lady's wrist as well. Putting all of those underlying principles together in one final movement of the ward-off sequence. And I love to do the ward-off sequence because it really is a great way to practice putting on all of these principles, including the continuous movement, because you learn it as a continuous flow of movements. You don't stop. It's not ward off, grasp the bird's tail, roll back, right? It's a flow. And that's important with our relaxation. So holding that ball to the right, stepping out, use your rotation, moving from your dantian, ward off. Grasp the bird's tail. Roll back. Think about your weight coming back to your right. Again, using that rotation, weight comes to the left. Rotate and press. And then you're pushing chi. Think about bringing your weight over to the right. Bring it back to the left. Stepping out, ward off. Grasp the bird's tail. Roll back. Rotate and press. Pushing chi. So we're leading from our dantian. We're using our rotation. We're understanding the weight shift. Thinking obviously continuous movement. But I want to talk a little bit about columns in your ward off sequence. Thinking about keeping those shoulders in harmony with your hips. If you step out, ward off, and you simply grasp the bird's tail like this, you're keeping your columns intact. If, however, you overreach, and I'm going to step this way, and you overreach like this, now obviously my columns are out of whack, my arms are too stiff, I am not in a good position, I'm not a relaxed position either. So staying within your columns, relax, grasp the bird's tail. You don't have to reach for that bird's tail, it's right there. As you roll back, just let your body relax. Rotate and press, lead from the dantian. And then one final thing, let's add the breathing to it. Taking a nice deep breath in as you gather. Breathing out as you ward off and grasp the bird's tail. Breathe in as you roll back. Breathe out as you rotate and press. Breathing in, starting your pushing chi, and breathing out. Then as you turn and you gather, you're breathing in, then breathing out, ward off. Grasp the bird's tail. Breathe in as you roll back. Breathe out as you rotate and press. Breathing in as you start your pushing chi, and then breathe out. So the whole ward off sequence is a great way to practice allowing your body to relax. Try to slow it down, slow your breathing down.